Yes.
All right, we have a quorum at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. These are pretty.
Yeah, these are nice.
Very
nice.
That will be easy to get out of, but I will, just kidding.
I'm going to start recording. So I thank everybody for getting here on this nasty weather we've got. Chairman, as soon as you get situated, you can take over the meeting.
Thank you, very good, sir. I'll start with the pledge of allegiance. I'll stand, please. Frank, would you mind leading us?
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Robert, would you mind?
Mine. If you would join me in prayer, bow your head. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight, Lord, we're so thankful for this day that you've given us. We thank you for opportunity to meet, to discuss city business here, Lord, and we just pray that you be over this meeting and you take care of everyone as we leave tonight, take care of our families, and we just give you thanks in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
We actually have the agenda, everything is sitting in front of you. I think the first thing you'll probably see is going to be the agenda. We're going to have two approvals of minutes tonight. Two sets of minutes, one from November the 5th, 2019, and one from December the 3rd, 2019.
Motion to approve the December 3rd meeting minutes.
There's a motion.
Are you approving the December 3rd, or are you going to November? Because that's
You going to November?
Sorry, I went to the first page.
Yeah.
I'll go to the November.
Can we approve them both at the same time?
You can, but on the back side of the 12-3, you'll notice that there's a question in reference to who made the motion.
I don't have a backside. Oh, I do have 11.5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exactly sure who made the motion, but
You just say it for,
It shouldn't know.
Okay, that's fine. Just know that that's on the back of those minutes right there. So,
Approved.
got a motion to approve for both sets of minutes.
Second.
well, from Lindsay Barrier, I need to make sure the recording has.
Yes.
Did it. We have a second motion from Ms. Lindsay for approval of the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
On to old business. Review of the historic overlay draft. Robert, I'll hand that over to you.
Thank you. As you see in front of you, you've got several different maps. I had them in order of discussion. Also in your packet that's stapled together, if you'll flip over past the public notice in the agenda, you'll find a list of each individual map, starting in order with the historic.
Robert, thank you for doing this. This
Yeah.
makes it a lot more a lot easier.
Yeah.
And I know it took some time to do it, so I appreciate it.
Well, I thought it would be easier, thank you. I thought it would be easier for everybody if we could break it down into sections, because, you know, there's quite a number of properties that are involved, so, I know that I printed these out for y'all tonight. We're certainly not at a point where we can approve anything, but if there's any discussion, we can have that discussion tonight. If not, this is study material for each and every one of us. And then y'all can kind of look back and compare back and forth between the list addresses and the maps, and look for discrepancies, look for anything that might need to be changed. And at our next...
Properties with the same address?
Properties with the same address, exactly. We do have some issues with addressed properties that were not addressed appropriately in the past, and by tax assessor's office, they are identified. So there will be some, I don't know that there'll be some confusion, but you might see in some of those lists where historic properties are actually involved in Section 1 properties, or historic properties are actually a part of Section 2 or Section 3, 4 properties. But they're all the same. The discrepancies that you're going to find is in the addressing, mainly on Main Street here.
Yeah.
But don't, just look at them and study them, and I ask each and every one of you just to kind of look at them and study them, and then hopefully by our next meeting, I've actually got it on Google Maps and Google Earth, where I can actually show each one of those are outlined in Google Maps, so I can pull up a picture of the building in and of itself. I just couldn't get it to work tonight, so I apologize for that. But
I have a question, that, I don't know that, I'm trying to remember if when we were talking about adding that section, on Broadway, if everyone was here.
I think
that was the one where we didn't, did you add it on here?
I did not. Because that was, when we didn't have a quorum and it was open for discussion.
Right, so now that we have a quorum,
It would be appropriate for you to bring that to the board and see what the board feels about it.
okay, there's a section, for those of you that don't know, and it's hard to see, I don't have my glasses, so, do you know, is it on section 2
I'm going to find it for you here.
or section 3?
It's going to be in the vicinity of the Howard Street, but I guarantee you it's not going to be on the map simply because the dimensions I had to get. So, but if you're looking at block section 2, downtown overlay, once you find that map there.
Yeah, what it is, there is, the original proposal was, this is Bluegrass right here. If you look at the very top of the downtown overlay, section 2, you'll see where Bluegrass comes in and it divides, it makes that, what we add, or we wanted to add there, because I think it went straight down Howard, right?
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
correct? So what we wanted to add there were both sides of Broadway. There are a number of buildings there, and there's a lot of infill, vacant lots for infill, and in the plans that we have for this city, that's the way our downtown is going to go. So it'll be where they built the new courthouse. It'll be right across,
So you're proposing to add both sides of that?
You can see it.
Look at forward, you can see it clearly on forward.
On 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If you look at forward, there's here's Howard Street right here.
Oh, yeah.
And there's Broadway.
Okay. So I'm,
This is,
Forward,
yeah,
section
on
4.
And with Broadway, which is Broadway?
This
Oh,
is Broadway
that-
right here.
Okay.
So instead of stopping here,
Yeah.
include this area right here on both sides.
Oh.
There's a historic church right here, and all of this infill And this is the direction, because here's the courthouse, so it's going to be right there. And I really think that we,
So she's talking about.
You're proposing to add both sides of Broadway.
Broadway, yeah.
Is there any history on this
Both sides
building
rock.
right there?
That little old building, yeah.
Because I never have asked anybody about it since I saw it the other day. It's just real old, I mean, it's just...
It's really old, and it's been there forever.
Right.
But it's also
Because
been
it's
used
just gonna-
in a lot of
We don't want it to
the
be
country videos
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So we're really trying to do that.
So, is the city own that?
No, no, she
Who?
doesn't. Dooley. Rose Dooley owns it.
And so, okay, I was just asking about that little...
So is your,
Yeah.
is your proposal to include Broadway on both sides?
Yes. So whatever this
Yep.
street is that comes in over here,
I'm not for sure where you're pointing, I'm sorry.
because we had talked about, this is where we stopped. To add this and the street that comes right here that squares that off.
That's gonna be, that's gonna be south of
That's Bluegrass, and then there's a street that comes across here.
You got them at Olive Street,
Is it Olive?
What's it called?
you got Olive Street down there, and then you got,
Olive is right alongside the
The
courthouse,
courthouse,
right?
yep.
No, it needs to go
Yeah,
over further, if you look over there.
how about on down one street, on Robert,
Yeah, I'm
toward
really
Railroad
just
Track?
concerned about both streets, both sides. There's a historic church right here, and I'm really concerned about both sides of that street.
So basically continuing down Bluegrass to where it can cut over
Right.
and getting that section between Bluegrass and Broadway, as well as Broadway to Howard.
I wouldn't go that far down. I wouldn't go that far down Bluegrass and run the railroad tracks down.
Yeah, no, I thought there was another road that came in here. It
There is,
didn't go-
Boswell,
Boswell.
Boswell
Okay.
Street, yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
It comes in off of, Bluegrass.
yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
Up to Boswell, and then, so it'll make a line straight across there, but anyway, so,
Both sides of Broadway?
yes,
So both sides of Broadway backed up by Boswell, is that what you're?
yeah.
Okay.
Back up by Boswell and one side Howard on the other.
And I'm gonna be honest, I mean, we have someone that has purchased a lot of that property right there and has talked about putting a strip mall in.
Let's include it.
So I just think that we need to have some control over what is built in the infill there.
So I guess, is the consensus of the board for me to add that?
Yeah, add that.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because we haven't voted on what
No, we
we're
haven't.
doing.
No,
So
yeah, so
we
we
can
just
just,
add
I mean,
it.
if that's I just think that's an important piece
Yeah.
to add in there.
All right. I will do that, and I'll redo I'll just do another section.
Yeah, just add a
Yeah.
section, that way you don't have to redo anything.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Right.
I've got that stuff set in stone, that's what it's saying, but I'll do another section.
Yeah, they really are.
I'll do another section, and
Right.
then that way, it'll just add a fifth section.
Yeah.
I'll be glad to do that, because it'll have enough property.
And it's almost all on four,
It is, but I think what I'll do is just do a section 5, probably, just so I can.
As soon as you do that, Google Earth will update everything.
Exactly.
And I know that Jackie Granberry was really concerned about this church right here.
Yes, she was, she did
Yeah,
mention
so
that last time we were here.
We really want to be,
Okay. I'll be glad to create that, and hopefully by the next meeting, when we come back in here, I'll have that new section added, and you'll have, keep those.
yeah.
I won't print out those sections, I'll create a section 5, and that'll be the Broadway section. But I'll include it in the big map, so the historic map,
Okay.
or the downtown overlay you
Right,
actually see.
uh-huh.
So, okay. I'm glad to do that.
Maybe it's, so that the house?
But please keep those maps though, and
Yeah.
then that way you'll have them.
That might be the church there. I think that is the church.
Yeah, it's right there.
That is church, okay.
That is the church.
I'm in the right church.
It's right in the corner,
Yeah,
right,
it is.
you know.
Mm-hmm. So I guess, unless really there's discussion to be had on any other properties that, might need to be added or taken away, I would, because I know it's a lot of information that y'all got in front of you, and I apologize for not getting it out sooner, it was just, I couldn't,
No, this
I
is
didn't
great.
have it in time,
This is
so,
very helpful.
This is
I know it's not,
improvement of what we had. Thank you.
oh, yes, sir, yes, sir.
The list.
Yeah, and you can actually see it.
And I just wanted to bring everybody up on, so that we know what's going on. We are applying for, the HGTV, series, Hometown Makeover. I don't know what the chances are of us getting it, but if by some chance we got it, they would come in and they would do some work in downtown and some of the homes and stuff like that, so it'd be really good to
It would be good to
have
have
something like
that.
Mhm.
When is your application going with those guys?
Friday.
Okay, so then you'll know pretty soon?
I have no idea.
Okay, I'm sure, I bet it's a pretty long process.
All I know is that the application has to be in Friday, so they didn't give any information on that kind of stuff.
And really, Chairman, that was all that I had for tonight. Like I said, it's more or less giving y'all some material to look at prior to our next meeting.
What's our next step?
We need to, go ahead and set our historic overlay in place. So with me adding the Broadway, hopefully, and y'all studying over the materials that we're given tonight, maybe at our next meeting we come back and hopefully we're somewhere close to going ahead and making a vote to establish this overlay. It's taken, a couple of meetings, and once again, I apologize for that, but it's just kind of getting all of the things in. So that would be our next step, is go ahead and establish this as an overlay, and then we would have to move forward with sending in to South Central over there, Ms. McLeod, and I'll actually see her coming up this month, so.
Well, don't we have to have, design guidelines
Yes.
we're gonna need design guidelines for residential.
Mhm.
We have the basis for,
We have-
the commercial, and we're going to have to go through those and review
Yes.
those, but we'll also need a thing for residential.
Yes.
But those don't need to be done before the overlay, do they?
No.
No, the overlay has to be established first, and then you move to the next step, which would be the guidelines.
Yeah, so,
So I think for the board's consideration, if y'all would just study over the materials, if you have any questions, you can call me or just save them for the next meeting, or however you want to do that. But that's the most accurate list that I could compile. I'm not saying it's 100%, and it's, nothing set in stone. Y'all might have more additional information, but it's certainly, we're further along than where we was the last
and,
time.
and even if we vote on the historic overlay and there's some things that need to be changed, we
Mhm.
can always change it.
Yeah. But I will add Section 5 being Broadway, both sides of the street, cut across, kind of make it even and connect it back. And then I'll produce try to get it to where to print out the entire area. It's not going to be as detailed as this, because you have to zoom out, but the entire area, including the new addition of Broadway.
So you'll have one with the entire area and then all these details?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
That sounds perfect.
Yes, ma'am. I think if we can, if y'all just put your heads together, or just in your own time, just kind of look at those and flip back and forth when you get free time and before our next meeting.
Is it possible to suggest meeting earlier if everyone happy with 6 p.m.?
I don't know if they heard you.
Yeah, said, anybody interested in meeting earlier?
Yeah. Did everybody else, did the board members hear that? Michelle is suggesting meeting time earlier than 6 o'clock on Tuesdays.
Do you have a suggested time?
5:30?
I'm good with
5:30 is fine.
We can do anything.
Is that accommodating
I
for
mean,
you?
I'm fine, I couldn't be here any earlier than 5 anyway, but 5 or 5:30 for me, that's,
Yeah.
5 would be a limit for me.
Would 5 be possible, or is 5
It is.
too early for anybody?
5's good for me.
It's fine for me.
Is that good for you?
You can get up.
Hey, it's fine with this, I didn't hear anything.
5 o'clock sounds good, if it's possible.
Yeah.
I'll make it work, yes.
5 o'clock? Okay, I actually think we need, because it's in our bylaws, at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that will have to be changed. I'll change that.
In the bylaws?
I think it's at 6,
Yeah,
yes,
I think
ma'am.
it is. It's under meetings. Yeah.
I'm almost sure. If so, I'll look back on the bylaws just to make sure that time is in there.
I think it's like that line that says first Tuesday of every
6
month.
o'clock.
I think it
Yeah.
is too. My one-
So that'll take a change of the bylaws, which is internal, it's fine.
Right.
All I gotta do is change it in the bylaws, bring it to our next board meeting, and have that new time approved.
So is everybody?
Very good.
Then we're good. So I will make that change on the bylaws, it can't be voted on tonight,
Right.
but I can bring it to our next meeting, and we can make a vote to change the bylaws to 5 o'clock, right? Is that good with everybody?
Mhm.
So the next meeting will be at 6, because it won't be official?
It'll have to be. yes,
That's
ma'am.
fine,
Yeah.
just
Our
clarify.
bylaws are holding us to that 6
Just
o'clock.
clarify.
But I can change those, that's no big deal.
We could vote to change them tonight.
Yeah, I don't see why we can't vote to change.
And have the approval? Because I have to physically change the bylaws.
We could vote to change them, you could physically change.
Bring it to the next meeting, right?
And accept the bylaws at the next meeting.
Okay.
Right.
Anybody want to make a motion to change it and get a second and get a vote?
Yeah, I make a motion that we change the meeting time to 5 o'clock.
I'll second the motion.
There's a motion on the floor to,
Slow you down.
pretty much.
Let's go ahead and close old business,
All right.
please.
Mhm.
And then follow suit with hearing the next agenda item. If you'll just read that.
Next agenda, well, you want a motion to close old business, or?
You don't necessarily need, to, but we need to just move on.
We're gonna close old business, any new business?
Uh,
All right.
New business is going to be the motion.
New business, there's a motion on the floor to change our meeting hour or time from 6 o'clock to 5 o'clock. I have no idea if that's what I said.
Michelle Mortesky.
Who made the motion?
I made a
Person made
motion.
the, and Don Thompson made the motion, and Ms. Barrier, I believe, seconded the motion.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the motion carries. I'll change it in the bylaws, and then I'll have it up for board approval at our next meeting.
Which is at 5 o'clock on the first Tuesday of March.
That's right, 5 o'clock, first Tuesday of March. So that'll be changed, and we will meet at 5.
I have a question.
Okay.
I know there wasn't a quorum here last time, and I see there's meeting minutes from November and December. Since there wasn't a quorum, is that why there's no? Okay,
That's correct.
perfect. Makes sense, I just wasn't sure.
What quantity constitutes the quorum?
You have a majority of the board, and it's 4.
Okay.
Any other new business?
No,
Ms. Marinsky, there's a motion on the floor from Ms. Marinsky to adjourn the meeting. Second. Mr. Thompson, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?